All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining here on this Friday morning. We're going to be covering more severe weather potential in today's live stream. Good Friday morning to everybody. Let's get right to business here. Let's look at back at Wednesday on March 13th. These are the preliminary storm reports that we did see back here across the middle of the country on Wednesday. We saw 4 tornado reports, especially into northeastern Kansas, 26 wind reports, 88 hail reports, with 10 of those being of 2-inch in diameter or larger, for a total of 118 severe weather reports going back to Wednesday. Now, just yesterday, there was a regional tornado outbreak across portions of the Ohio Valley from Ohio, seeing some destructive tornadoes that did touch down here, and our prayers go out to everybody there in Ohio. Also, some destructive tornadoes in Indiana. Our prayers also go out to those folks in Indiana from yesterday's storms. My heart goes out to them. A lot of damage out there. I've been seeing pictures of what has happened yesterday in Ohio and Indiana, and it is just heartbreaking. So please pray for those folks out there in the Ohio Valley. They need your prayers, and hopefully they can recover from a lot of the damage that was caused by these tornadoes. But even without the tornadoes, we saw 124 wind reports, one of those being of hurricane force, 216 hail reports, 40 hail reports that are of 2-inch in diameter or larger. And again, we saw 8 tornadoes yesterday, and actually one tornado reported down in North Texas. So it was a very active Wednesday and a very active Thursday here. So let's move ahead and look at the pattern going into today. Here's the surface map. The cold front is down here across the lower Ohio and Tennessee River Valley and into the southern plains. We still have warm, moist, and unstable air ahead of the main front here, and that is going to be the main source of lift, will be the cold frontal boundary, and that will be tapping into some instability here today. There's your dew point temperatures. Your surface dew points are into the 60s and 70s down here, especially into southeast Texas, coastal Texas there into Louisiana, southern Mississippi. We have some juicy air mass down here across portions of the region into the Gulf Coast today, and this is contributing to some moderate to strong instability and buoyancy for thunderstorms in which to develop later today. You can see across portions there of Victoria, Texas, to Houston, going down toward Corpus Christi and Brownsville, over there into portions of Louisiana. We're seeing that into Baton Rouge, Shreveport, getting there into Lake Charles, New Orleans, and those areas there right along the Gulf Coast there into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, northwest Florida. We do have some stronger instability through the day today. So here is the severe weather outlook. This is from 1 o'clock in the morning here, the day 1 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. There are 2 distinct areas we're mainly keeping a close eye on for severe weather potential. These are the yellow shaded colors. So if you were down into the San Antonio region, if you were down here just west of Houston, we are watching for some severe weather in the yellow shaded color there. That is a level 2 out of 5 on the scale. Moving further east in towards east central Mississippi, into central portions of Alabama, Montgomery, up there close to Birmingham, and then back toward Jackson, Mississippi. We do have a secondary area of a slight risk in the yellow. That is a level 2 out of 5 on the scale. Otherwise, the darker green that stretches from Columbia and South Carolina near Charleston, back through Atlanta and Huntsville, and then all the way back through Shreveport, Lake Charles, Mobile, Houston, those areas, and just near Corpus Christi, that is a marginal risk of severe storms. That is a level 1 out of 5 on the scale. So where there's a number, there's a risk. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. So now we're going to look at the hazards of which these storms could produce later on today here, or maybe even this morning as well. We already have some ongoing severe weather. The biggest risk to the least biggest risk, we're going to look here at the hail risk. So again, hail has been a big story with our storms, our severe weather over the last couple of days. There's no reason to believe why hail will not be a big factor today either. We do have a significant hatched hail risk here, a 15% significant hail risk here in these hatch marks into the yellow across San Antonio and west of Houston. This area is primed for the potential for those 2 or even 3-inch diameter hailstones later on today. That's that golf ball size, hen egg size, and even getting up toward baseball size hail. So we'll be keeping an eye on south central Texas. In the brown shaded color, that's a 5% hail risk. It's not impossible to see large hailstones at times, but I think mainly a lot of these areas will be seeing those quarter to half dollar size hailstones than anything else. The second biggest risk today, again, unfortunately, will be tornadoes. The thing I'm thankful of here today is actually the tornado risk is not as high as what we saw yesterday. So that's the good news. But where there's a number, again, there's a risk. So we have two areas we're keeping an eye on. The first area here is down into south central Texas, Austin, down towards San Antonio and west of Houston. And then we have a 2% shading in the green here from Jackson up there toward Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, Mobile, up into the Atlanta region, and Columbia into South Carolina here. This covers parts of Mississippi, Alabama, central Georgia, and into western portions of South Carolina. And finally, the last risk that we're keeping an eye on here is a damaging wind risk, especially around portions of east central Mississippi and south central Alabama, Montgomery, back there toward Jackson. Those wind gusts could be in excess of 60 miles per hour as they move through these regions. Even in the brown shaded color, seeing that winds over 60 miles per hour being a potential, just a lower potential, a 5% chance in those areas. So let's go over the timing of these storms here, and we'll get to your questions in the live stream. Again, thank you so much for joining here on this Friday morning. Can't thank you guys enough for the support on this channel. If you want to support, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and also the like button. Very helpful, folks, to get more of this information passed along to more and more people just simply by doing those two things. It really helps out more than you know. So let's go here into the timing. This morning, we have some storms ongoing across west central Texas. You're probably waking up in Lubbock and Midland, Texas here, or Abilene this morning, and seeing some showers and storms, and definitely, rightfully so, we're keeping an eye on those. Further east into Louisiana, some isolated, widely scattered activity here. Thunderstorms roaming the landscape there from Alexandria back there just south of Shreveport. Other than that, pretty quiet across the southern plains this morning. And this afternoon, not too bad either. A couple storms we're going to have to watch here. Notice the discrete nature of these supercells developing in south central Texas. So the tornado threat will be there. If we can acquire some rotation with these supercells, then that means a tornado could be possible down towards Austin and San Antonio and west of Houston going through the height of the afternoon hours here. Very big hail producers as well, so we're going to keep a close eye on that, those 2 to 3 inch diameter hailstones. And then as we go into the evening, notice we don't really see widespread coverage of severe weather, but it's just these individual cells that develop here across East Texas and Southern Texas that we need to keep an eye on here around the Houston and Beaumont region, down toward Corpus Christi and getting down there toward the Rio Grande Valley. We really need to keep an eye on that even into the evening hours after dark. Still seeing the potential there for some damaging winds, some large hail, and tornado potential there in the southern plains. And then as we go into early Saturday morning, we could fire up more supercells. And yeah, look at that, folks. Still seeing purples and whites there on the rendition of the computer models after midnight as we go into Saturday morning. So there is a chance that we could still see some big hailers down here into the Rio Grande Valley and south central Texas even after midnight into Saturday morning. Now let's talk about the rainfall amounts that you can expect. They will be few and far between. So we're basically looking at here, if you get under a storm cell and it produces some efficient rainfall rates, say 1, 2, even 3 inches of rainfall per hour, you could see that 1 to 3 inches of rain be realized across your area. There will be areas, though, that will be dry completely today, that will not see a single drop of rain. That is definitely a possibility here today. So consider yourself lucky if you don't get a severe thunderstorm here and anything like that, because we don't want any severe weather. But if you get under those storms, some very efficient rainfall producers, that is for sure. Now let's walk over here across Dixie Alley in the southeast for our friends that live down here into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. We're going to keep an eye on that. This morning, we are seeing an MCS, a mesoscale convective system moving across portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and North Georgia. These storms, a couple of these have been severe warned well after the midnight time frame, and they continue to be warned for damaging winds and hail. Not really a tornado threat because this is more of a linear convective system this morning. But as we go into the afternoon, these storms will propagate further to the south into portions of southern Alabama and southern Mississippi, and maybe even building back toward the New Orleans region. We'll keep an eye on that this afternoon. These could turn severe, so we are going to keep an eye on that. But I think the tendency will be the storms will be on a weakening trend as they move further to the south here going into the afternoon, and then the evening hours we'll start to see those storms weakening. So by far, south central Texas here and across portions there of eastern Mississippi into central Alabama is going to be the prime area for severe concern as we go through the morning and into the afternoon. So this is primarily an afternoon event if you live in south central Texas, and then primarily more of a morning into the afternoon event if you live there in Dixie Alley. And you can see early Saturday morning, maybe some big rumblers down here towards New Orleans. But other than that, we're really not seeing much of any significant severe weather or widespread severe weather at that moment. This will be after midnight. Rainfall amounts down here, a lot more widespread, 1 to 4 inch amounts, especially there in Mississippi and Alabama, there in parts of Louisiana. Definitely seeing some fair share of some very heavy rainfall across these areas. We'll keep an eye on that. Jackson up here towards Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, the Huntsville region, Tupelo, and then getting down toward Montgomery. We'll keep an eye on that. Also, New Orleans seeing a couple inches of rain going through your Saturday morning time frame. Now, if you're wondering, the weather pattern as we go into the weekend is going to change. We're going to see a major change in the weather pattern going into the weekend here. We have a ridge of high pressure, and what goes up must come down. So across western Canadian provinces all the way up to Alaska is a ridge of high pressure, drier weather and warmer than normal temperatures out west there across especially British Columbia. That's where the center of that ridge of high pressure will be realized. And then across southeastern Canada, down into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, interior New England, that's where we're going to see a trough or an anticyclone start to develop. That's going to bring down some cold air, a reinforcing shot of cold air with a cold front Saturday into Sunday, and that will really strengthen across the eastern 2/3 of the country going into that Monday time frame. So what we're looking at here is some colder temperatures moving from Canada southward into the lower 48, at least east of the Mississippi Valley, especially here. So there's that cold air up into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and also western Ontario and maybe northern Minnesota up there as we go into the weekend. Below normal temperatures overall on the 16th and 17th of the month. Then as we go here into early next week, Monday the 18th, Tuesday the 19th time frame or so, that's when the eastern U.S. is going to feel the core of the cold air here. That's where we're going to see some below normal temperatures, possibly significantly below normal across the southeast, getting in towards Monday, Tuesday next week. The ridge out west will eventually build east into the northern Rockies and eventually making its presence known into the Dakotas and Nebraska with above normal temperatures early next week. And then later next week, that ridge will continue to collapse into the southern United States. And we see that colder air retreating Thursday the 21st there, the start of spring equinox. And into Friday the 22nd as we have that colder air peeling northward back into the Canadian provinces. So that is the forecast moving forward. If you guys have any questions regarding this or severe weather potential, the timing of any storms, if you live across Texas or if you live across Louisiana or Mississippi, for example, we will be able to help identify any severe weather potential and the timing of your storms later on today. So if you have any weather questions related, definitely make sure you jot them down in the live stream chat. We'll be here for you for a little while to answer as many questions as possible. So let's go to the outlook here for today. There's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and this is all of the severe weather we are seeing in the United States as we go into today, Friday, March 15th. All right, let's see here is in the chat here today. Not as many people as yesterday, which is a surprise. We had a lot more people yesterday. People are probably tired of me already, right? So it happens. Snowies, thank you for joining. Kitty Cat, Justin, and Paula, thank you for joining. Wilbert, and it looks like that's about it. Everybody's sleeping still at 6:50. It's Friday. Everybody's saying, well, it's Friday. I'm taking the day off. So, hey, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. That's for sure. All right, so let's see here. You guys got any questions? Next week we go back to, you get colder up there, Snowies. I think you're from, southeastern Canada, right? So, yeah, you're probably going to get a lot colder. Here, I'll go back to the slide for that real quick. Yeah, you're getting colder early next week, especially around that Sunday, Monday time frame. If you live in southeastern Canada, there's that anticyclone or that trough here across the Great Lakes. That's going to be centered across southeastern Canada on Sunday and then into Monday time frame. So that's where you're going to start to see a lot of those colder temperatures filtering in from central Canada down into southeastern and eastern Canada there and into the United States, the eastern U.S. that is. So that's what we're seeing as we go into Sunday, Monday time frame. And there could be some hard freezes, some frosty advisories out there. That is possible. So we could even see a hard freeze as far south as Atlanta, Georgia, the Huntsville region, Tupelo, Mississippi, Nashville, those areas, Chattanooga. Get ready because Monday morning could have a hard freeze down in your area. We are definitely not done with that quite yet. Snow in the forecast. Yeah, there's a potential clipper system with this. It's going to drag some snow. It's not going to be a big snowfall producer. These systems moving from Canada into the U.S. are not, they're moisture starved. The Gulf of Mexico is open today across the deep south for severe weather, but it's shut off as we go into next week with that colder northwest flow aloft in the jet stream. We just don't have really a moisture source for any big snowstorms as we go in towards, say, early next week. For bigger snowstorms, you want more of those southern stream storms that come up from the subtropical jet and turn up toward the Midwest or the Great Lakes. On the northwest side of those low tracks, that's where you could get those bigger snows because the Gulf of Mexico is more open, more moisture into the U.S. than in Canada. So we're not really seeing that early next week, which is good if you're not a snow lover, that's for sure. East of Jacksonville, Mississippi is super hot and sticky this morning. Yes, those dew points there into the Jackson, Mississippi region is they're going to be climbing here through the day, and you can see those dew points forecasted around 64, 65, or 66 degree dew points as we go into the mid-afternoon hours today. In around Jackson, Mississippi. And we even have higher dew points than that down here into Louisiana and coastal Texas. We're around 70 degree dew points as we go into the day. So definitely feeling that muggy air mass, and that's going to feed into our severe weather potential as we go into this afternoon across some of those areas. It doesn't look to be as big of a deal as yesterday, but hey, we don't need any more tornadoes. We had Ohio, we had Indiana seeing devastating tornadoes yesterday, and we really didn't even want to see that either. So we really need to send our prayers out to everybody there in Indiana and Ohio that were affected by those storms because, man, oh man, they were looking pretty nasty on radar yesterday. Those tornado signatures were not very good looking on radar. So we really send our prayers out to those folks for sure. And I appreciate you guys joining me here this morning. If you are new to this channel, any of you guys that are watching, consider hitting the subscribe button. I do have a video coming out on my North Central Weather Center YouTube channel. That's my second channel here. I'm actually going to post that into the chat room real quick here in just a moment so you guys can get that. If you guys do like weather forecasts in general, you can watch it. But if you live in the North Central U.S., consider watching these videos. Great videos. I go well into detail with it. I just dropped the link there in the chat room. So make sure if you do like weather in general, go sub up to that channel. If you live in the North Central U.S., up here to like the Dakotas region, like the North Central Plains, the Upper Midwest, the Lower Midwest, the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, that's the area I'm covering on that second channel. So make sure to go sub that up. We're almost to 500 subscribers on that channel, so lots of great stuff happening over there. A video will be dropped on that channel at 9 a.m. this morning, so make sure to go check it out. I'm not doing a mainstream or a main channel video today on this channel on Weather on the Go. Tomorrow and the weekend, I'm going to be doing a couple videos. We're going to be going more into depth on El Nino and what that means heading in towards the spring and summer. Transitioning back to La Nina, we're going to have a big video and outlook on what you can expect for the rest of the spring and summer and the severe weather season, and also the hurricane season preview. Hurricane season's coming up pretty quick as well, so we're going to touch on that as we go into the weekend. So if you guys are wondering about our video plans for Weather on the Go here on the main channel, that's what we're doing as we go into Saturday and Sunday. So lots of great videos coming up. Again, I see a few of you subbing up to the channel. I appreciate it. We're up to 426 subscribers on that second channel. Again, that is in this. That link to the channel is in the chat there where it says Weather on the Go. Just click on that and go sub up to the channel. Again, it focuses more on the North Central U.S. I do appreciate it. And let's get these likes up here on the live stream, folks. We're slacking today. We're slacking. We're only up to 58. All right, and I think it looks like Nightbot's helping me out down there as well, so appreciate that. Let's see here. Seeing lightning but no thunder. Misting rain. Florida. I'm guessing you're in Florida, right? Florida Jeeper. You got some rainfall heading your way there. Bleecker family. Eastern Ontario here. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So I'm going to leave this up on the screen. If you guys live in these areas from South Carolina back through Georgia, Mississippi, into Alabama, into Louisiana, and South Central or Southeast Texas, and any of these areas affected, you can see the city names on there of some of the major metropolitan areas, including Columbia, Atlanta, back there toward Huntsville, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, even the Montgomery region, Mobile, Jackson, Shreveport, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Baton Rouge. I'm kind of throwing a couple more that I know that are in there. Gulfport, into the Laurel region, into Hattiesburg, back into Houston, Beaumont, Tyler, Texas, perhaps just south of Tyler, Waco, down there in towards, say, near the Corpus Christi region, San Antonio, Austin, those areas. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you folks for severe weather. This is a lower end severe weather potential today, a level 1 out of 5 and a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow. But we know that sometimes these lower end severe weather days can overperform. So that's why we are so keeping an eye on this, and the hail threat again today across south central Texas. 3 days in a row, potentially some big hail. So we're going to keep the streak rolling as we go into today, this time for south central Texas. So San Antonio and Houston, definitely seeing a lot of that action as we go into later on today. Squirrel, Middle Georgia here. Thanks for joining. Yes, if you live in Central Georgia or Middle Georgia there, around the Atlanta area, or just much of Georgia, Northern and Central, and even parts of South Central Georgia over here in a dark green area, that's a level 1 out of 5, and we do have some tornado potential there in that vicinity, including Atlanta. That's in a 2% shading for an isolated tornado going through today. A lot of these storms will be moving through during the morning and afternoon. I think the evening hours will start to dry out. So this is more of a morning into afternoon event for these areas. Lester saying, calm and cool here in northern Miami County in Indiana. Yeah, the cold front has passed, thankfully. We had a lot of devastating severe weather yesterday across portions of Indiana and Ohio. So our prayers, again, go out to everybody over there in the Ohio Valley. Indiana and Ohio in particular, our prayers go out. Unfortunately, not the greatest news in those areas. We actually saw, let's see here, we saw 8 tornadoes in total. 1 down there in North Texas, so really put it all together, around 6 to 7 tornadoes confirmed across portions there of Ohio into portions of Indiana there, and then again into North Texas. So prayers go out to them as well, for sure. Thank you, Kathy, for joining. Good morning to you as well. Good Friday morning, Kathy. Appreciate you joining. Always good to see Kathy here supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Yeah, snowies. It's that time of year. You know, all the snow's melting, and you have more of the rainfall out there, and it's getting to be a muddy mess out on the soil out there for sure. So if you're a gardener and you're getting ready and antsy to garden, I want to warn you folks across the Deep South, cover your plants as we go into early next week here. We were talking about this just a few minutes ago. If you're just joining, we got a cold front moving through as we go into the eastern U.S. Starting on Saturday in the upper Midwest, that cold front will drop into the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley Sunday, and then into the southeast. And this will be a far southeast event. So Atlanta, down here into the western Carolinas, northern Alabama, and northern Mississippi, even Tennessee, will likely see a hard freeze, if not a frost, from this event. So if you guys have any plants, vegetation down in this region, make sure to cover your plants very nicely as we go into early next week, especially for Monday morning. Those temperatures in Atlanta could be down to around 28 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely a lot colder as we go into early next week. Yeah, Thomas, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah, that stationary boundary and warm front yesterday, you always have to watch the warm fronts this time of year, and thankfully we don't have that today. But we just have an advancing cold front today, so not really a warm front setup necessarily today, but there still could be some rotating storms. Here's the tornado outlook across the deep south. Couple areas here, again, south central Texas, Austin, San Antonio near Houston, and near Corpus Christi. And then back here across portions of, climatologically an area where you look for tornado potential this time of year by the middle of March, across Dixie Alley into the southeast. So Atlanta, Columbia, back through Montgomery, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, in towards Mobile and Jackson, Mississippi, the Laurel region, and say like the Natchez, Mississippi region as well. So keeping an eye on that for today. I appreciate everybody joining here this morning. Again, if you are just joining, make sure to sub up to the channel if you're not subbed up here to Weather on the Go. I just posted just now in the chat again. If you live in the north central U.S. or you just like weather in general, make sure to go sub up to my second channel. I have a video coming out at 9 o'clock this morning. Make sure to go like that video. Helps out in the algorithm to get more and more people out there to watch it. So I appreciate that. We're almost to 500 subscribers on the second channel. Pretty cool. We're at 429 currently. Yeah, I'm not sure why there's not a lot of people joining here today. A lot of people must be sleeping in on Friday morning, but that's all right. We don't, we need to get the information out to as many people as possible. That's why I do these live streams. But yeah, it looks like it's Friday morning, and a lot of people are probably sleeping in late and probably not going to work today, or just, they're tired of the severe weather already. And I get it. It's gonna be a long severe weather season, so. Think you need to move to Texas? They seem to hog all the storms. Yeah, they get a lot of big storms in Texas. Well, it's a big state too, so Texas is one of the biggest states outside of Alaska. And it's further south than Alaska, obviously. So it's they get their fair share of storms, that's for sure. They get a lot of big hail down there, a lot of damaging winds and tornadoes. That is for sure. You get that dry line set up back here into West Texas and the Panhandle, and then you get more of those cold fronts coming through, and then you get tornadoes. So, and every once in a while, Texas can have a warm frontal setup, just kind of like Indiana and Ohio had the other day, that produced those devastating tornadoes. Again, I can't say this enough. Really, folks, send your heart, send your prayers out to those folks in Indiana and Ohio. I mean, we did see I saw some damage pictures on Twitter or X or whatever you call that app these days, and I saw those pictures. I'll tell you what, they were not good. Okay, so we really need to extend our deepest prayers out to these folks again in northwestern, western Ohio, into eastern and southeastern Indiana, and we even had a tornado down there right outside the DFW Metroplex. So 8 tornadoes on Thursday, 4 tornadoes on Wednesday here. Hopefully none today, but so far confirmed, we've had 12 tornadoes back-to-back days here. So with the total of this multi-day severe weather outbreak. How much snow to expect? I wouldn't even expect anything. Honestly, I don't even have a slide for this, a slideshow, a presentation for the snowfall potential, just because of the fact that it's really not going to be anything. I mean, if you're outside of the Great Lakes region, I just really don't see a lot of snow for you. So if you're expecting snow in the Northeast, you may get some snow flurries or snow showers, and it may, a dusting of snow at most on grassy surfaces. But to be quite honest with you, this is the last gasp for winter. I think after we get past, I would say, this cold spell here into late March, and that may extend into early April, I think that's it, folks. I think that's it for the real cold weather and our snowfall hopes. So if you're a snow lover out there, unfortunately, this is your last shot at some snow as we go into the second half of March. Today's the 15th, so once we get past this, I think that's it for at least snow. Will there be colder days in April? Yes, the first week in April. I mean, April could be cool sometimes. May could be cool sometimes. But, the guidance that I'm looking at long range does not support any big snows. So if you're looking for any 6-inch snowstorms or foot of snow anytime soon, you're going to have to probably wait till next winter or even across the Northeast. So it's going to be hard to get a lot of that snow. to pile up this time of year. With the higher sun angle and stuff like that, it's just difficult. Absolutely hard to do. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate your support, Paul. Giving a like, thank you. Good morning to you as well, Paul. Driving north into Georgia from Florida, how far south will weather come down before we have storms? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Are you asking about the severe weather today? So let's go back to that here for the question that was asked. Let's go back here to this morning. So we got an MCS, what's called a mesoscale convective system. It's an MCS. You probably heard that acronym very much so during especially the summer months. MCSs come in a lot of forms: a quasi-linear and convective system, a derecho. They could come in a squall line, stuff like that. You probably heard a bunch of different terms for that. Basically, this is just a mesoscale. It's a big complex of storms. It's a mesoscale convective complex storms, and they're dropping south through the morning. So Atlanta seeing some heavy rain here, and also down towards Montgomery, and even the leading edge down here towards Jackson, Mississippi this morning. This will continue to drop south-southeast through Dixie Alley in the southeastern region as we go into the afternoon. Some of this will be on a weakening trend, but there could be some storms that could sustain themselves, producing damaging winds, large hail, and a couple tornadoes today as we get into the peak heating of the day. So we're concerned more there into south central Mississippi, into south central portions of Alabama and southwestern Georgia, and then some of that severe weather potential will drop toward Panama City and Pensacola as we go into the afternoon there in northwest Florida. And then as we go after dark, we're going to lose the luster of a lot of our instability, going to be pinched off here across the Gulf Coast. Instability in South Texas will still hang on, but across the Gulf Coast, really going into the evening hours, we're really not seeing a lot of severe weather. So that's good news. And the cold front will be offshore into the Gulf Coast, and we'll say goodbye to our unfortunate 3 days of very busy weather across the country. So we'll have a little bit of a break heading into the weekend. Feeling more like fall and winter across the eastern U.S. this weekend and early next week. Again, a hard freeze. If you're just joining, a hard freeze is likely, especially Monday as we go across the deep south here, folks. This is a trough, and look at the ridge across western Canada. What goes up must come down, and there we go. Eastern U.S. This is winter's last gasp as we go in towards the Monday time frame. This is the 18th of March. Every day that goes by, folks, the sun angle gets higher in the sky. The days get warmer. It's going to be harder to get snowfall here across the eastern U.S. So this is our last shot into late March and early April. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you so much, Chuck Jody Harris, for the $10 donation. I really do appreciate it. Everybody give a high five or a clap or anything there to Chuck Jody Harris. Pretty much the best. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. Again, folks, it's Friday. Be happy. Smile out there. Lots of great weather happening this weekend. Get outdoors. Get some fresh air. I know it's cooler this weekend. Go for a walk. Go for a jog. Take the dog for a walk this weekend. It'll be a little chillier. Just bring the jacket with you. Put on a pair of pants. You'll be fine. Just go out and walk the dog or something like that. Get some fresh air this weekend. After what has been a busy week of weather, definitely deserve it. Nice and dry, rain tomorrow. Yeah, just rain tomorrow. I don't see any big severe weather tomorrow for much of the country. Maybe a marginal risk there in Texas, but that's about it. What's lingering with that cold front. All right, I'm going to post it again. I'm just going to keep doing this here, folks, every few minutes. But thank you guys. Again, if you haven't, not to be annoying or anything, but if you guys have not joined or subscribed to my North Central Weather Center page, that's my second YouTube channel. If you're just new here and you don't know about it, I cover the North Central U.S. Make sure to go sub up to that channel. I'm dropping a video on that channel at 9 o'clock this morning. Lots of great information on that region. So we're up to 429 subscribers on that channel. Would love to hit 500 sometime very soon. So that would be pretty awesome as well. So make sure to go sub up to that channel. And on this channel, Weather on the Go, I'm going to have a main channel video starting tomorrow. We're going to be talking about El Nino transitioning back to neutral and then La Nina conditions. We're going to have everything that you need to know. Temperature trends, precipitation trends through spring and summer. We're going to be talking about the rest of the severe weather season and preview our hurricane season in that video. So make sure that you are ready for a great weekend of videos on Weather on the Go here, because we're going to have a lot of information for you, a lot of valuable information. And that's another video that you'll definitely want to watch and pay attention to. So I appreciate it. All right, so you guys have any questions regarding the weather here? I think we're going to get out of here a little bit earlier today. Not as big of a severe weather risk today. We had a lot of questions yesterday. It's been an exhausting week, to say the very least, with the weather. Again, no main channel video today. We'll do that tomorrow. I'm still working on it. So even though you don't see my face today, so on Weather on the Go, you don't see my face on a video, and after this morning's live stream, you won't see my face. Just know that I'm working hard for you for tomorrow's video. We're going to be doing a lot of great long-range forecasting here. And long-range forecasting isn't to be, a foolish thing. Long-range forecasting is valuable. It's not to be taken exactly verbatim. It's more of a grain of salt thing, but it gives you the general big picture of what to expect as we go into spring and summer. So it kind of gives you all of what you need to know. Again, temperature trends, precipitation trends, severe weather season, the rest of the way going through summer on through August, and then all the way looking at the hurricane season, kind of previewing that. I think I'll have a separate actual hurricane season video coming up here sometime into April or into early May. So we'll keep an eye on that. One Nation weather, tornado warning right now in northern Alabama. Nice stream. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, tornado warning, probably radar indicated, right? So I don't think that's gonna be too big of a deal. Not much to look at there. Just heed the warning if you live in that area. No, I have not, Thomas. I have not heard of that. I've heard of Tornado Alley, obviously. And there's also like I don't know if you guys heard of this term. It's called Derecho Alley. It's kind of, what a derecho is. It's like a straight line wind event. It's a big windstorm that usually happens during the warm season, late spring through like late summer. May, June, and July are most known for them, even August sometimes. And you can even get cold season derechos. It's just a big line of storms moving very fast to produce severe weather and mainly damaging straight line winds. Derecho Alley is mainly across the Midwest, so ground zero is actually Northeast Illinois. If you guys want to wonder about that, that's where Derecho Alley is. The weather's looking good for the Players Championship. Is that for golf, or what is that, Paul? Is that golf? When will you upload the severe weather outlook video for the spring and summer? I already did earlier on. If you haven't seen it, go to my Weather on the Go channel. I already have one video out about a week or two ago. It's talking more about spring and summer forecast. Here, let me go and find it real quick for you. I'm going back to my. I don't know if I can find it though. Let me see here. I'll just tell you how long ago it was. So go back to my Weather on the Go homepage, right, on YouTube. Go to where it says videos. So it says home, videos, live, podcast, playlist, community, store, all that stuff there at the top of the screen, right? Go to where it says videos, just to the right of the homepage, in between home and live. Press videos, go down, scroll down, and go 3 weeks down, and you'll see a video that says a dangerous tornado season is coming. That's the video, and go check that out, all right? That's what you need to know. Otherwise, this weekend, I will be posting a video for that, kind of updating that a little bit more to make it more accurate, if you will. Golf? Okay, cool. Yeah, golf. Golf's a big deal, for sure. Again, appreciate you guys subbing up to the new channel here, 430 subs. I'm going to put the new channel link in the live stream one more time. If you guys have not subscribed to North Central Weather Center, please, 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 every single one of you folks, 84 of you, just make sure to go subscribe to that channel. Lots of great stuff happening there. I know if you guys don't live in the North Central U.S., you probably don't care about it, but if you do live in the North Central U.S., you're watching today's stream, make sure to go sub up that channel. Appreciate it. New video coming out at 9 this morning. It runs from Missouri to Ohio. Okay, got it. I haven't heard of that, so I'll have to look it up. They're going to let the warning expire. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about that one. It's a lower end day today. You don't want to, look away from that. Whenever you have a tornado warning, you want to heed the warning for sure. You want to go to the lowest, most interior room if you don't have a basement or something like that. But as long as you heed the warning and take shelter, you should be good. I figured it was radar indicated. Alrighty, so no worries, Chrissy. The new channel, this channel, Weather on the Go, will always be here. This channel, the main channel, this is going to be my main channel, the one you're on right now with the live stream, Weather on the Go. The second channel is going to be more focusing along the north central U.S., so like the northern plains, the central plains, the upper Midwest, the lower Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley. That's the area that I focus on mainly with that channel. So if you live in that area or know of any family members that live in that area, definitely go sub up to that channel. A new video coming out very soon, very detailed on what to expect. Thank you, Emmanuel. Just did. Thank you. Thank you, Snowies, as well. I appreciate that. Yeah, I remember you saying that yesterday, Snowies. Thanks for your reports, Arnie. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. All right, folks. Well, I think I'm about to wrap this up here in just a few minutes. If you have any questions, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to ask any questions you have. It's pretty much straightforward here today. Stay safe from the severe weather, though. It's a lower end severe weather day, but we know a level 1 out of 5 is still significant. That's still a severe weather risk. We need to take it seriously. So even if you live in Atlanta and you say, well, it's only a marginal risk, it's still a chance of severe weather here. Even though it's a lower probability, a lower chance, it's still a chance of severe weather nonetheless. So we need to stay ahead of those warnings as we go through the rest of today. All right. Thanks for the second channel. I am the weather spotter for the large campground in central Wisconsin. Absolutely. We'll be talking more about Wisconsin in that video, actually. I'm going to be getting colder this weekend, so. Thank you, Snowies. Thank you, Paul and Kitty Cat. Thank you so much for Chuck. Thank you, Chuck Jody Harris, for your $10 donation. Really greatly appreciated. Very generous of you. Happy Friday to you and happy Friday to everybody. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Chrissy, Emmanuel, for being here. Arnie. Thank you again for the other Emmanuel Edwards into the live stream chat. I appreciate you being here. One Nation Weather, thank you. Thank you to Thomas. Who else is in here today? Squirrel, thank you for being here. President Nitty, thank you for being here as well. Thank you to Pete Christie, appreciate it. Tony Wilson. And who else was here? Kathy McKay, thank you for joining. I truly do appreciate you as well. And Louise and Jean Belcher, thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it. So everybody who has joined the live stream, everybody who has been here and has not, commented down in the live stream chat, I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much. One more time, I'm going to put that channel into the live stream chat. North Central Weather Center, go sub up to that channel. If you know anybody that lives in the North Central U.S. or you live there yourself, a new video coming out at 9 o'clock this morning. Be watching out tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. Mark my words, 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time. A new video will be out on this main channel, Weather on the Go. We'll be diving into the long-range forecast and diving into what you need to know for the rest of spring and summer. Thank you guys so much for joining here this Friday. Stay safe out there. Prayers for everybody in Indiana and Ohio. Most importantly, our prayers go out to those folks with the devastating tornadoes, unfortunately, that did occur yesterday on Thursday, March 14th in Indiana and Ohio. Definitely send your prayers and your hearts out to those folks over there. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your Friday, and even better weekend, and I will see you very soon, folks, tomorrow's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful and safe rest of your Friday and weekend out there. Goodbye, everyone.